My sister, my mother, and I were adamant we knew my father very well. We knew his wishes very well. Um, but navigating the space with the physicians of, my father has an advance directive. They were not very interested in looking at it. Um, but trying to ascertain what will his life be after this incident. This thing of there's always hope for recovery, but what would that recovery mean? Will he be incontinent? Will he, he would have had to, he would be in a wheelchair. He would, have a nasogastric feeding tube or a peg tube, whatever. You know, what are the guiding principles there? And I know we can go into the ethics, but, who guides whom in what in that conversation?
So maybe just a moment of compassion for doctors
I
who,
don't want your job.
who need to navigate this very uncertain space around
Mm,
prognosis. What is
mm,
what is something going to look like? And then this magic glass ball that we need to be able to
mm,
say.
mm,
And so, it's hard, and then we err on the side of caution.
mm,
Let's try and see. That's
mm,
that's our default. And I think, as we spoke earlier, unlearning those pathways for us is hard to impossible. So we have to also, I think, maybe guide doctors in our conversations, and sometimes doctors don't have them, and it's okay for us to, to uh, if you're the patient, to nudge a doctor, or if you're another healthcare professional but not the primary doctor, to empower the patient. These are the kinds of things that you can ask of your doctor. And we accept that there's uncertainty. I think people around, what lies ahead, some people don't want to know. Most people are ambivalent. They want to know and they don't want to know. Most find it helpful to get some sense of what lies ahead, both in terms of function or time, and they accept that there's uncertainty and that there's that we might be wrong, and so it's helpful to say, best case, worst case, most
yeah,
likely case is helpful to explain to patients, so that we all acknowledge that there is this uncertainty. And I think sometimes patients and families have, no matter how you say and what you say, they have unreasonable expectations, unreasonable hope. Um, and where I think where before I used to want to really try and get them to get the message that there is little hope. I now feel more comfortable to align with that hope and say, I also, because I also hope for the best outcome. And at the same time, I worry that's not likely to happen. And then what matters? What do we need to think about? What are the plans that we need to put in place? So aligning with the family and their hopes and their wishes for miracles, that's okay, but we can't just leave it there. We have to, there's also another, the Waiting Room Revolution is a great podcast where they talk about many of these things that we talk about now, and their book that they published a year or so ago is called "Hoping for the Best, Planning for the Rest," which I think is quite a helpful little phrase to use in some of these conversations.